Hi, my name is Fanny Scrooge. I am Ebenezer's little sister. As a child, my family was very poor. I have long brown hair, brown eyes, and I am 5 years old. After 30 years or so, I got really sick. I only ended up living to be 37 years old. Sadly, I died while giving birth to my first child, Fred. When both Ebenezer and I were little, we were very poor. Even though we were poor, we were still happy. If you didn't know, I love Christmas because I love sharing this time with my family and friends. As kids, my brother and I were very cheerful and happy people, until we started to get older, and my brother and I parted ways. My brother became a banker, a very wealthy banker. We became complete opposites. He became a grumpy old man, and I stayed the same. I also ended up getting married and was pregnant with my first child. I died in childbirth, and I am now watching over my older brother. Oh, Ebenezer, you have changed over the years since I've passed. I really miss being with you. You were the best older brother. Now you are so greedy and unhappy. I wish that we could have never grown up. He could have been a nice and merry person, but he decided to shut everyone out and not spend time with his nephew. He is always in that dark, cold office counting his money. He could be having fun with my baby boy, Fred. I think that my older brother deserves to learn his lesson. He needs to become the boy he once was a long time ago. It was cold and dark in Scrooge's house. It looked the same since last time I've seen it. It was just as dark and gloomy as it was before I had passed. My brother was sitting on his chair. I decided that I was going to pay my brother a visit. I went to tell him about the three spirits. Scrooge didn't believe me and went to bed. The same night, all three spirits came and showed him that what he has done, what he did, and what will happen. After Scrooge saw all three spirits, something changed. After the three spirits came and visited my brother, I saw a spark go off. His attitude changed completely. He started saying nice things, buying people turkeys, donating money to charity, and giving his clerk a raise. I'm so proud of my brother for changing his perspective of the way things are. He finally ended up becoming the boy I always knew and loved and still know and love. As everybody knows, like Tiny Tim and my brother said, God bless us, everyone.
Hi, I am the Ghost of Christmas Past. I am the first ghost to visit Scrooge. I wear a white robe and my head is glowing and it looks like I have a candle flame on my head. I carry a metal cup that looks like a candle extinguisher. I am very stern and I also took Scrooge flying over London. One year, Scrooge was sad because he was left at school on Christmas and did not get picked up from school. But the next year he did get picked up from school, so he was happy again. But then all of a sudden, Belle broke up with him, and because he was being too greedy. So Scrooge was sad. Then I came and showed him around places like London and Christmas when he was younger. Scrooge started to become nicer when the two ghosts came, the Ghost of Christmas Present and the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come. Then he went to a party and he stayed until the end. He was not greedy or mean. He was nice when everybody left and seemed happy at the end.
Hi, I am the Ghost of Christmas Present. I have dark brown curls, I have sparkly eyes, and I wear a dark green robe trimmed with white fur, and I have a gentle face. I am a jolly giant that loves food. Oh, while we're on the subject of food, I had a huge feast before this. I love being joyful. When I walk in the room fills with delight. When people start to argue, I have this special magical fairy dust that I can sprinkle on them and they'll stop arguing. Man, after all this eating, I need to take a break. That feast is really getting to me. I'm back. That took a while. I want to tell you a story about this Ebenezer Scrooge guy. He is a rotten, old, mean bump on a log. He is not giving or outgoing. He is greedy and does not care about other people. I showed Scrooge what Bob Cratchit's family and Tiny Tim and how he was sick and dying. He felt really bad, but then I showed him his old girlfriend Belle's house and their Christmas without him. Scrooge started begging me to stop showing him bad memories. I brought him back to his house, and then he asked if Tiny Tim survived. I used his words against his and said, "Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses?" He then figured out how the people felt when he said that to them. When I was visiting Scrooge, he learned his lesson, to be a better person. After that, Scrooge was a really nice, outgoing guy. He made a huge anonymous gift to charity. He gave many other gifts to other people. Merry Christmas and bless all.
I am the ghost of Christmas yet to come. I wear a dark robe with a hood that covers my face, and I hover slightly above the ground, with fog following me. When I showed Scrooge his future, he refused to accept it. When I showed him his corpse in his bed, he didn't realize that was him in the bed. I had to show him his tombstone in order to make him accept his fate if he didn't change. But he still was acting dumb when I pointed to it. I felt accomplished when I watched him collapse and wept over his grave. He said to me, "Good spirit, your nature intercedes for me and pities me. Assure me that I yet may change these shadows you have shown for me by an altered." I couldn't show him the altered future because there is no altered future that is until Scrooge changes ways of life. After I showed him his grave, as he wept, he declared, "I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons that they teach." As I observed him with the other ghosts on Christmas morning, we were glad to see him doing good deeds, like buying and helping the Cratchit family, raising Bob's salary, and going to kind Fred's house for dinner. We were successful in inspiring and scaring Scrooge to change his ways, and he became the best man he could.
Hello there, folks. I'm Belle. Scrooge and I were in love when we were young. People say I'm sophisticated for my age and I'm well-rounded. People also say that I'm cheerful and optimistic about everything, and that I always look for the good in things. I usually wear plaid long dresses, sometimes silk or velvet, but they're very expensive, so I only own about 2 of those dresses. Scrooge was a grumpy man who only cared about money. I fell in love with a different Scrooge. I loved him and he loved me, well, in the beginning of our relationship at least. But I recall that when I left him, I told him, "I've been replaced by a golden one, and may you be happy in the life you have chosen." It was true. He only cared about his real love, money. He was not happy with me. Though he had little to say, he looked very upset. I don't even like to think about it. I feel so guilty for leaving him, though I believe it was the correct decision, because after that, I met the love of my life. Don't get me wrong, I will always have a place in my heart reserved for Scrooge. I met up again with Scrooge on the New Year's Eve because he had a party. Yeah, a party. I was surprised by it as well. There was a huge assortment of pies and pastries. His house was all decorated with silver and gold tinsel and a giant Christmas tree. Later in the evening, I talked to Scrooge. I asked him why he changed, but he never gave me a straight answer to why he changed. But honestly, I don't care, because whatever happened was for the greater good of everyone around him. It was truly a Christmas miracle.
Hi, I'm Bob Cratchit. I'm a very poor man with a very large family. I have 6 children: Martha, Belinda, Peter, Matthew, Lucy, and Tiny Tim. Tiny Tim is my best friend. He's crippled and walks with crutches. I feel horrible, but there's only so much I can do with the little money I make. Some people describe me as a kind, caring family man. I mean, I do love my family. I am tall, as you can see, and I love to wear my long comforter and my vest and jacket. I work for a man named Ebenezer Scrooge. He has a lot of money and pays me very little. I have worked for Ebenezer as long as I can remember, and not once have I gotten a raise. Well, anyway, Christmas Day I woke up to the sound of a horse and buggy pulling up the road. I looked outside to see a group of men carrying the largest turkey I've ever seen into my home. We had the largest amount of turkey anyone could imagine. The day after Christmas, I was a few minutes late when Scrooge started yelling at me. I was very scared and made up the excuse that it was the day after Christmas, trying to make him cut me some slack. When all of a sudden he throws a bag of money at me and said, "I'm giving you a raise." Ever since, Scrooge has been like a father to my children and a best friend to the family. Scrooge has helped with the burden of medical bills and taking care of my children. Well, anyway, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.